10 seconds remaining.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they switched it up and are having the Nyx Assassin being placed in the middle lane against the Queen of Pain instead of running the Tiny Wisp there?
I guess they have a lot of respect for the Queen of Pain, like handling the lane on her own against the Tiny Wisp. I understand it. Like, it can be a hard lane with help from the Disruptor or the Winter Wyvern. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but I can see the reasoning.
Alright, so our second to last game of the night here, an elimination match between London Conspiracy and Summoner's Rift. Starting things off, we are going to be having the Tiny Wisp head up to that top lane, so Nyx Assassin is going to be placed mid up against the Queen of Pain. Pretty standard lanes for London Conspiracy. Defensive tri-lane for them, mid Quap and an off-lane Spirit Breaker. So nothing special being found here in our laning phase. Looking at the laning phase, do you give an advantage one way or the other to the teams?
I'd say it's really even. I guess the mid lane is definitely in favor of LC with the Queen of Pain against the Nyx Assassin, although he went for the Prominent Shield, which will definitely help him. I would say that the safe lane choice by Summoner's Rift actually, like, it nerfs Spirit Breaker's potential a lot in the laning phase. It's a lot harder to roam, and I think that's a good edge for them, but it's hard to give like a clear edge on who has the advantage in his laning phase so far. It's really going to come down to play, I think.
Yeah, I think you're on a good mark there with the Spirit Breaker potentially going up against dual lanes, especially with only like a Lion to try and zone him out. He could have played that really aggressively, probably would have gotten a decent amount of experience, but now he's facing up against a full defensive tri-lane, which means he's going to be shut out a bit more when it comes to experience. Nice setup from Nequa already, as he is going to take a bit of damage for it, but he gets the bounty rune. Excellent setup by him. Meanwhile, the Spirit Breaker actually gets the top bounty rune.
Yeah, actually, the same thing happened at both bounty runes. Oh, they're going to catch him with the glimpse.
Oh, the glimpse push back here. If they manage to get really good blocks, maybe they could get the kill, but Spartan, with the second set of cogs, keeping both Madara as well as Skanks back, they are unable to close that gap. So, Nequa does get the bounty rune, but this also means he doesn't get any sort of cog block out of this, so the creep equilibrium is going to be in favor of London Conspiracy.
I think it's still good play from Nequa. He steals the bounty rune, and he even though he trades away a lot of his regen, he hit cogs several times on those three heroes, so taking away all the mana is definitely useful for him.
Ooh, Skylark going for the greater batch first, is actually being blocked up quite heavily. Has no escape away from this one as the blocks just continue. Whitebeard on the mark here. The Spirit Breaker almost going down. Oh, they actually managed to get him the round flank. Not quite there. Skylark now turns to fight him against Whitebeard, but Whitebeard wins it out the right click. He gets the first blood, and Whitebeard kind of stuck here, does need a tether away, and that's where H is going to come into play. Tether out, and Skylark can do nothing to stop that one. So they get the kill and are not punished for it in any way. Excellent play by Summoner's Rift and Whitebeard in particular.
Yeah, very well done. It's not very often that you see a defensive tri-lane killing off a Spirit Breaker at level 1, so props to them.
Yeah, usually he's the tankiest hero at level 1 in the game, so he's usually a tough hero to kill, and they don't have that much, they don't really have that good of damage on the side of Summoner's Rift, but they do still manage to get the kill thanks to the excellent body blocking.
Yeah, also pretty cheeky play here from Skylark. He dewarded the Summoner's Rift lane ward, and as well as eating their Sentry ward. So really good play by him.
Oh yeah, and so he keeps his Observer ward alive for the time being. Pretty critical to be able to see those rotations in. Skylark also going to be trying to pull that hard camp so he can bring the creep equilibrium back to his favor. Meanwhile, how's our middle lane going? A little 12-2 right now on our Queen of Pain going up against the 6-1 of Brax. So he's actually faring quite well, as you kind of expected. This lane does go to the favor of Queen of Pain, but it's more about the fact that Nyx Assassin is going to get what he wants out of it, right? It's just experience and some CS. It's more about the mid-game for the Nyx Assassin and what you're able to utilize that experience that you got in the middle lane to set up kills.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the Nyx Assassin and the Clockwork's farm isn't necessarily the most priority. It's more about getting experience and getting a lot of, action happening, and let the Tiny handling the farming and the carrying.
Yeah, and I would say, like, Nyx Assassin in particular, the Blink Dagger is a pretty important aspect of the hero. As an offlaner, it's something that some others, such as like the Clockwork, don't really need to be able to be that effective. Nyx Assassin can still roam around without that Blink Dagger and potentially get those Vendetta ganks, but it's always very questionable. Bottom lane, they're going to go for the pickoff on Nikwa. Oh, Spartan actually did not get the glimpse there. Tried to use it at the last second, but ends up running into the cogs in the process. So no kill to be had there. Very dangerous lane for the Clockwork. Anytime you're facing up against a Disruptor or a lot of range heroes, they just don't really care about the cogs as much.
Yeah, it's like the Disruptor and the Rubik is definitely one of the harder supports to play against this Clockwork. Like, whenever he tries to cog to, oh, they're actually going to catch him here.
Yep, then Nikwa is going to be right-click down slowly but surely, and it's going to be Winter Wyvern who gets the last quick. And meanwhile, the top lane, Skylark trying to get away. He does have a charge, but the disables are there. They're going to be able to lock him down, and Skylark will feed away yet another kill at this top lane. So meanwhile, what's going on in our middle lane? They do have Thug, who's doing quite well for himself. Not trying to get any of those runes. Nyx Assassin keeps on leaving lane to be able to pick up that top rune. Kind of, I guess, a necessity for him, just because he needs that constant regen. But
yeah, definitely. Although he has a lot of what do you call it, basic stat, health regen.
Yep.
Yeah. But now Queen of Pain is gonna pick up the haste, being camped by his support.
And the Queen of Pain, at this point, do you try and rotate any supports to the middle lane, or more likely the Queen of Pain rotates to one of the side lanes?
I think Nyx Assassin is one of the hardest heroes to kill with their setup that they have early game, so it's very unlikely that they get a kill unless they send both supports very early. But even still, then it's going to be really hard for them. So
yeah, one of the big reasons why we're not seeing the Spearbreaker attempt to gank the middle lane, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess they could do it with like Spearbreaker and both of their supports, but what if that fails? It's going to be such a... It's kind of risky.
Yeah, such a heavy commitment. Spearbreaker actually managed to get the pull here, but unfortunately, he's going to be at the cost of his own life here. Oh no, he actually gets away with the charge to the neutrals, and is going to feed himself away. Nicely played. And this will actually push the creep wave into his tower, even if he's not there to pick it up. Our Queen of Pain earlier was trying to force out the Spike Carapace. He was faking out the Sonic Wave multiple times to see if he could manage to pick up the kill, but Brax never took the bait.
I'm wondering what the Spearbreaker is going to do at this point, because the top lane is not really working out for him. He can't really go jungle either, so what do you think?
Item-wise for Spearbreaker?
No, like, what is it, like, where does he go from here? Like, he can't really lane top because he's just feeding the Tiny Wisp.
Yeah.
And he can't really gank mid, as we mentioned, so...
I mean, he can, like, potentially TP bottom and go for the kill on the Clockwork, but it's not really worth that much.
Yeah.
Particularly in experience, which is pretty critical for a Spearbreaker, so I'm not entirely sure. This is, Spearbreaker is one of those heroes that, like, he either stays in the off lane or he roams, but he can't actually roam into the middle lane. Now, he might just be able to catch out these two supports that are moving in. Does see them, so kind of spoils the gank that they were to set up on the Queen of Pain. So that's something at least. But unfortunately, it's not anything that's going to be able to build our Spearbreaker to that critical level 6. Now, Nikwa's going to be caught out here. They're going to go for the glimpse play, potentially. Nikwa playing this very offensively now, as he knows he's going to be glimpsed back eventually, so instead he just tries to catch a hero, but no such luck. And the kill does go to the Winter Wyvern once again. These supports actually getting a decent amount of experience in lane. They're doing a small amount of holding, but it's the kills on the Clockwork that are actually getting them closer to that critical level 6.
Actually, both offlaners in this game struggling really hard.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Take a look at CS-wise, 41 and 14, Leshrac, tightly contested with the Tiny when it comes to safe lane farm. Nikwa sent all the way back to base, so his TP in, not going to be able to defend this tower whatsoever. And even without Diabolic Edict, they should be able to do a good amount of damage to this tower. In fact, you can see Winter Wyvern, nice play there with Cold Embrace on the creep, just allowing them to tank up the tower a little bit more.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And at this point in time, London Conspiracy, are they happy with sitting the Queen of Pain in this middle lane constantly? I mean, they are getting some pressure at that bottom lane. They're getting pickoffs. It just seems that it's one of the few games where you have a very static laning phase. No one's really moving around too much.
Yeah, I think this definitely favors LC at this point. If you take a look at the support levels, Disruptor's level 5 and Winter Wyvern's level 4. Actually, both of the supports of Summer's Rift hit level 4 just now, but the supports are definitely going ahead at this point, and the Queen of Pain is doing well mid as well, so I think they're definitely fine with staticking for now, but at some point they're definitely going to have to pick up the tempo of the game.
Alright, now let's talk about, since we aren't seeing too much action in this first 10 minutes of the game, let's talk about Winter Wyvern as a hero. Have you guys actually, I'm trying to think, have you guys actually ever run the Winter Wyvern in an official?
We might have run it once or twice, but not so much in officials. We've scripted with it some. It's definitely a good hero.
Yeah, Skylark, they go for a dive here. Thug is going to be able to respond with a TP with a haste root. Is coming in to be able to take out Demon. Free kill there. And that is all that they will get out of that one. Mass rotations to be able to defend a very offensive gank. In fact, Thug actually makes a very offensive blink forward. Almost getting caught out there, but the bottle heals is going to be able to keep him alive. Is now trying to kite around the Tiny as best as possible, but the supports can't really get there in time. They still do not have their level 6, so not a whole lot of offensive capabilities to these two heroes. But yeah, let's go back to it. Talk about this new support hero and where you think he really fits into the meta.
I think he definitely fits the meta that we have currently. It's a lot of fighting, and it's really good for early game as well, so I definitely think that it fits the meta a lot. It's good for roaming, it's good for a lot of things, in my opinion.
Is there a particular reason you guys haven't run it too much? Just not really used to the hero yet?
Yeah, it's just a matter of like not having played the hero enough yet, pretty much.
Fair enough. So our first rotation from the Nyx Assassin coming in at 9.5 minutes. The first Vendetta being used. He's going to be able to spot out Monoran. This is a very critical kill. You can see Monoran's already quite low with the hookshot coming in as well. Together, they take out the Leshrac. And this now bumps Nikwa up to level 7. Nikwa, being such a very aggressive offlaner, really needed to be able to pick up that level 7. He now has the maxed out power of the Clockwork with the battery assaults level 4 and hookshot ready to go. So he can now rotate around every single time that hookshot is off cooldown.
Yeah, he's actually made a pretty huge comeback in this game with the support rotating top for the tower dive that Summer Swift did, and now getting that kill gave him 2.5 levels.
Meanwhile, our Spirit Breaker still sitting at level 5. They're going to go for the Nyx Assassin here, locking him side of the kinetic field, but the response, TP, the Blink Dagger picked up by Hitch. He's going to be able to get the pick off onto the Disruptor. The Sonic Wave actually goes out, but it's still not enough damage. Trout barely living through, managed to get the toss out of Thug, and the right clicks not quite enough, and they finally do get the double kill. Going the way of Trout as he comes in big with the Blink Dagger Tiny. We saw you guys actually go for a Tiny. Lilo was actually talking about where it might have been a Blink Dagger game. Hold up top lane. Demon immediately turns around, gets the Hex onto Skylark, but there is the glimpse back. They'll turn around and just beat Demon. Immediately the first hit bash coming out from Skylark to stop that TP out. 2-man stun. Skylark coming in. He doesn't actually have the charge now. Locked inside the cog. Skylark trying to get out. The last right click. Barely survives thanks to a one charge. Nikwa gonna try and chase him down. Does have Rocket. Brings Skylark a little bit lower. 80 HP. Nyx Assassin just hoping to be able to close the distance, but unfortunately not able to throw out the Mana Burn or the Impale to catch him out. So 3-6, we finally see a bit of action. What do you think about this Tiny Blink Dagger as he goes in, managed to catch the Queen of Pain, right clicks with the Hex, and they'll get another one. It's very successful Blink Dagger, to say the least, right?
Yeah, I agree. At first I was pretty skeptical to it because the Tiny is basically the only farmer on their team. Like, all of the late game they have is basically on him. So I would, at first I thought that Aghanim would be the choice to go for, but the Blink Dagger is definitely paying off for now, and it seems to fit their playstyle a lot as well.
Very aggressive play that has managed to catch out the Queen of Pain multiple times now, and is keeping her one step back. I mean, you pretty much got all squishy heroes on the side of London Conspiracy, excluding the Spirit Breaker, who's already been shut down enough that you don't really care too much about him. The charge did reveal Trout as well as the Wisp making their way into the secret shop, so they're not going to try and fight that one. They do actually have Static Storm ready to go, so it might be the London Conspiracy feel comfortable enough to go for this one. Sure enough, Static Storm gets laid out. Skylark is going to go down nonetheless, but they managed to get the stun onto Trout and clean up the Wisp at the same time, so very much worth it for the cost of their offlaner.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of oversells play from Summer Swift right there. Yeah. Even though they did not have a vision up there, they saw them walking in there with the Spirit Breaker charge being cast earlier. So yeah, good play by LC.
You've got mass initiation now on the side of Summer's Rift with the Blink Dagger picked up on Brax. You've got the hookshot ready to go on the Clockwork, and then of course the Blink Dagger on the Tiny that we've already seen. They can see them jump in, and Skanks very much dead.
Yep, this is just where the Blink Dagger comes into play. But I mean, unless they really start to snowball in the game and take tier 1 towers at this point, I think it's going to be really hard for Summer Swift. Even though they have such a lead right now, I think it's just going to be really hard for them to execute the game as it gets longer into the late game.
I mean, their only real big hope is the fact that Madara is still getting a good amount of farm. In fact, he's going to have a pretty quick Bloodstone, but as we've already said, he's pretty heavily countered, especially in the early game, by the Nyx Assassin. You combine that with the nuking power of the Tiny Lion and the Clockwork as well. It gets even worse. Niqua, they're going to try and pull him back with a glimpse. They have a setup here. Our Queen of Pain, slowly but surely inching him down. Brax comes forward. Oh, Winter's Curse actually getting laid down as they had the counter ward ready to go, but Niqua's still alive here. The charge is going to come in. Bumps back Brax. They manage to get that kill. The ultimate goes out. Niqua gets outside of his own cogs as a response. Avalanche getting laid out. Madara ends up going down to the last right click of Tralf as they try and chase him down. Glimpse back. They catch him. They need that haste rune though. Haste is going to be able to pick it up. No, Thug actually stacks it as the bump back from the Spirit Breaker once again comes into play. 2-man stun. Getting laid out by Demon. Niqua comes back in with a hook shot, locking down our Queen of Pain, but doesn't manage to kill. Toss back. They get the Spirit Breaker at the same time. Madara comes in, stuns up. The Clockwork gets that kill. Now Demon on his way out, but going to be caught by the Leshrac. It seems Queen of Pain gets tossed up. Trout manages to survive just barely, but Demon not going to be as lucky as it seems like. Without any mana, he'll be lightning away by Madara. A win there for London Conspiracy, but could have been so much more if they managed to finish up Trout.
Super chaotic fights right there. It's really hard to tell who actually got the edge at in the end, but I think it favored LC, right? Yeah.
I did believe that was 3 from 4.
Okay.
It looks like the Leshrac going down, but he made the recovery. Thanks to the Bloodstone charges, he came back in pretty early and got back up to 8 charges, which is pretty important, right? You can't afford to pick up that Bloodstone and be set behind.
Yeah, that's definitely super important. Like, losing all the Bloodstone charges early is usually the end for Leshracs. Like, that's not really what you want to do especially if you're the #1 position.
Yeah, this will now kickstart him into the BKB, which is another big factor. Like, if you just have the Bloodstone, you can easily still be bursted out and controlled by Summoner's Rift. But if you get that BKB, this will actually be an item that can potentially single-handedly win a fight for London Conspiracy.
At this point, Summoner's Rift actually don't have anything towards the BKB, unless like Tiny gets an Aghanim and starts like just right-clicking him down. Until then, they don't really have anything for the BKB, so it's gonna be crucial.
Now, item-wise, we're not going to talk about our Spirit Breaker because unfortunately he is super underfarmed. But what about our Queen of Pain? Is this an Aghanim's game? Do you go for the an early BKB, perhaps?
I mean, Orchid would be good, but considering she's a little bit underfarmed at this point, I'm not sure if it's the right choice. The Aghanim is pretty good just for being able to take the fights all the time and just having the ulti up whenever needed. I mean, BKB is always fine, especially against like this heavy magic damage lineup. So I'd say the Aghanims or the BKB at this point.
Ooh, hookshot actually dodged there. Skylark changes direction, and Niqua ends up coming out with a big whiff there. Meanwhile, Tralf is actually almost to his Aghanim Scepter already, despite the fact that he stalled it up with a Blink Dagger and even a Cloak. He has enough stacks, and in fact, he's level 11 as well. So, Tralf, you talk about the Leshrac and how much of a silver lining he is for London Conspiracy. Well, it's the Tiny on the other side now. Unfortunately, they're going to try and make a relocate play. Do they have the glimpse? Oh! Unfortunately, it was on cooldown there for another 11 seconds, so unable to get the pick off. Meanwhile, Brax coming in from the side. They're going to try and force this fight. Blinks forward, manage to get the stun. The comeback here as Tralf comes forward onto Madara. They do have the Winter's Curse that locks down Brax for a little bit while longer. Nice cold embrace, but Madara is going to go down eventually. Maybe not. Skylark actually pushes back Tralf. The endurance damage is enough to be able to finish up the Leshrac, but Tralf goes down as well. Niqua fighting up against 4 is using the cogs to be able to zone out the rest of the team. The glimpse back, and looks like they'll catch him. Niqua, no way out of this one. Unfortunately, his hookshot not up for another 6 seconds, or maybe he could have made a play with that one, but 4 heroes go down, and London Conspiracy looking hot. This is a great game for Summoner's Rift in the first 15 minutes, but things have turned quite sour for Summoner's Rift in the last 2 team fights.
Yeah, this is like what we talked about earlier. LC's heroes, their supports are just so good for team fighting, and as we discussed, Summoner's Rift don't really want to take this fight necessarily. They should just be content with letting the Wisp die there, in my opinion. Just let him die and keep farming, because fighting is definitely not the way to go for them.
Now, because of the last 2 fights that they've taken and lost, they're going to give up a lot of towers. Looks like that middle tower already going down. Poking at the middle tier 2, but not feeling confident to take that one just yet. Fortunately, Demon does manage to still pick up a very early Blink Dagger on his line. He's already proven to be super effective with those Earth Spikes that he's laid down, catching multiple heroes. Now with the Blink Dagger and having that extra positioning, he'll be even stronger.
Yep. Also, after these fights, the Spirit Breaker has actually managed to pick up Hand of Midas.
That is not an item I expected our Spirit Breaker to be able to pick up anytime soon. I saw the Gloves of Haste and naturally expected to see a Treads, but Skylark just getting enough farm that he can go for the Midas. Do you think that's actually the item he really wants? I mean, London Conspiracy are already doing so well in these team fights, but wouldn't hurt to take up the Spirit Breaker even more.
Yeah, like, I don't know, the Spirit Breaker sometimes when you just crush the games.
Relocate, Queen of Pain, quite dead here. The double impales coming out from both our Nyx Assassin and the Lion, managing to get the easy kills, but at the same time, looks like Nikwa's going to be picked off the charge. Catches him. They also have a glimpse potentially to throw out, but it's really not necessary. Nikwa will go down without it.
Going back to the Hand of Midas here, unless you're really crushing the game as a Spirit Breaker and like getting a really good, fast earn like Bang or what have you, like Sang and Yasha,
right.
I think Hand of Midas is almost a necessity for that hero because it falls off so hard if you're gonna play it as a core, in my opinion. So I'm not like it's never a good feeling to get like a 17-minute Hand of Midas, but I think it's fine this game.
Yeah, okay. After the pick off on Nikwa, they will manage to take that tier 1 tower in the top lane. Meanwhile, charge was going out for our Spirit Breaker, but he does have to cancel it. It's 14-14 right now, 20 minutes into the game. As you can see just from our charts, Summoner's Rift were holding on to a decent advantage not so long ago, but after a couple of bad team fights, it's now going the way of London Conspiracy. They do still have this super farm Tiny, Blink Dagger, and an Aghanim Scepter, and they whisk backing him up, but it's the Leshrac who's got even more farm. Bloodstone and BKB finished up on Madara. Blink Dagger being snagged here, London Conspiracy really needed to really want to be able to find a pick off at this point so they can start taking some tier 2 towers. Bottom lane. Yeah, the relocate, they lead with the Hex, follow up Earth Spike, and they do easily have enough disables and nukes to be able to finish up that Queen of Pain. And this is the problem, London Conspiracy, if they split up too much, they're going to be very susceptible to these Blink Dagger pickoffs, but they always seem to be able to get some sort of return around kills. Ooh, they didn't actually tether to Tiny. They left him here, and it looks like it'll be successful. He managed to get the kill on Skylark. Controlled now by the Static Storm, the rest of the London Conspiracy are on their way. Tralf hopes to be able to get out with his Blink Dagger ahead of Madara, and no, actually makes the turnaround. Here goes for the Disruptor, double Earth Spike, and they'll take out both the supports. He doesn't even care about Madara now. There's no backup for London Conspiracy as he just is forced to pop the BKB and TP out.
Why didn't he toss him there?
Well, it looks like maybe just a little bit of misplay, didn't see it in time.
It works against BKB, so...
Yeah, that would have been a total wipe.
Yeah. Like, at this point, Summer's Rift is just outplaying LC. Like, after that pick-off onto the Spirit Breaker, I believe it was, or Queen of Pain, initially, I don't remember, but after that pick-off, I don't think they have any business chasing after there. Like, they really need to start working with baits here, I think, like, because it's fairly obvious what Summer's Rift is going to do. They're always going to go for these relocate gangs with the Lion or the Nyx Assassin setting up, so I think it could be fairly easy to, like, pull some baits and just farm heroes on the lane, sitting behind them. Like, especially what and at this point is the Winter Wyvern and Disruptor doing anyway? They're just probably just stacking camp, so yeah, I think they could be working a lot more with baits.
See, Tralf picking up the Yasha soon. They do have another relocate play available. Now, our Whis is actually going for a mech for this game instead of going for something like Urn into the Glimmer Cape. Do you agree with the mech pickup?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with it. It's never a bad item in Wisp. Sure. The armor portion of the item is not that useful this game, as they don't have a lot of right click on LC. But like double heal on the mech is always strong and just a good item overall. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of expected the Glimmer Cape just because you're dealing with so much magic damage coming out from our Leshrac, but I mean, if you can get the mech, might as well, right?
The Glimmer Cape would actually make a lot of sense against the Disruptor. And
oh, true.
But at the same time, they have the Spirit Breaker, and I don't know, I think it's a fine choice.
Madara trying to keep up that farm, pushing back this top lane. He still is ahead of the Tiny ever so slightly, but they are leaving plenty of opportunities for Summer's Rift to set up that relocate gang.
It looks like they really want to go on this top lane.
Yeah. This could be either really good for Summer's Rift or really bad if they take this bait and don't manage to pop the Leshrac. If he gets the BKB off in time, and then you've got 4 heroes behind it. Ooh, the Catapult being laid out. Brax spotted out, and they will be able to get the Thunderstrike before he jumps away. Winter's Curse holds him in, and Brax is taken out. So no gank there. At the same time, Summer's Rift at least don't go into any sort of counter relocate play.
That was just unfortunate. LC were smoking behind the Leshrac, and they got popped. So they pretty much understood that the next assassin was gonna be in the trees right there.
Let's see, we still have, geez, look at him. Leshrac and Tiny still so far ahead of the rest of the team. They're almost hitting the 12,000. Meanwhile, you're talking about other cores. You've got our Queen of Pain only sitting at 6,000. Demon is incredibly farmed. He's actually sitting at 6,500. He's 3rd on the net worth board right now. So that Hannah minus pickup from him is going to try and get to that level 16 a bit faster. Since we are going to be seeing a Lion that is incredibly farmed, what is his going to item build for this game? Is like Aghanim Scepter really that good of an upgrade for him, or is it something else?
Aghanim's is always like it's a luxury item that it's really good to have on the Lion. Like, items like Force Staff or Glimmer Cape is also very useful. But I can see the Aghanim's. I definitely think he gets like one more utility item before, like the Force Staff or something like that, and then he goes with Aghanims. It's pretty much the same logic behind the Queen of Pain Aghanims. When you get in a line, it's like you have the cooldown up whenever you want, like 20-30 seconds. It's basically gonna have for every engagement.
Speaking of that Aghanim Scepter, it's just another 600 gold until we see that on the Queen of Pain. Another smoked up by our Winter Wyvern. They are being kind of corralled inside of their own side of the base. Haste Rune being popped by Brax. Does have that Spike Carapace as well as Blink Dagger to fall back on, so there's no way they can jump. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Spartan's going to be picked off. Oh, Finger of Death. Not sure if that was really necessary. Seemed like Miqua had that one under control, but with that quick pick off there, right next to Roshan Pit and Tiny and Wisp not too far away, they will take advantage of this by claiming an Aegis for themselves.
That's a way too early for buyback. They're just gonna walk out of the Roche Pit now, I think.
Yeah, London Conspiracy hoping to be able to catch someone with the glimpse, and will catch Demon. Fuel Scepter being used, Split Earth to hold them in, and free pick off there, so the buyback slightly worth it because they do stop Roshan and get a pick off in the process. But can they actually take Roshan for themselves? I highly doubt it.
No, they definitely have no business going for this. They don't have the damage at all.
Dear. Looks like they're going to try for it anyway. There is the Clockwork Hook up in another 20 seconds. Okay, they back up, decide against it now, hoping to be able to get Brax. Unfortunately, the Glimpse isn't quite in range, and Brax, again, still has that Spike Carapace and Vendetta to fall back on. He's going for the Yule Scepter now, so a little bit of utility to our Nyx Assassin.
It's a good item against the Spirit Breaker and heroes like that definitely wants to jump you, and you can either use him or yourself. So, and it also gives you movement speed. Very good utility item for the Nyx Assassin.
Almost would have expected the Force Staff. Since we are dealing with a core Nyx Assassin, if this game goes late enough, we'll see the Aghanims upgrade for him. What are your thoughts on that upgrade? How essential is it for the Nyx Assassin, and when do you try and get it?
It's not essential, in my opinion. It's just a really good item to have when you get the money for it. Like, if you really farm, it's like one of those items that you don't really need at all, but when you get them, it's like, it's just a good item. You know what I mean?
Yep. And London Conspiracy, this game is drawn out a bit for them. Is this really what they want to be doing? I mean, they are going up against a Tiny Wisp. Feels like they should not have better late game for sure. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to try and constantly push in at 25 minutes, but time seems to be of the essence for London Conspiracy. Oh, pick off there on the Tiny Yule Scepter to be able to stop the tether out. They get the Split Earth stun, and now actually Trout came forward, but immediately caught by the Static Storm. Monora pops a BKB, looking to be able to run down Trout. They do have Skylark coming in, turns around, gets the stun before the ultimate lands, and they will be able to get the Winter's Curse. Skylark now pops his ultimate. Yule Scepter being used by the Nyx Assassin to be able to dodge that one, and manages to blink away, but the Glimpse back, and he will be caught. It looks like they do have the counter vision. You see him for a second here. Now the counter ward being laid out. Brax ends up going down. Meanwhile, Miqua comes in from the side, goes on the Spirit Breaker, then pop him with the buyback on the Tiny. They'll be able to get a secondary kill. What else can they get? Spartan TP's out successfully, and that's a buyback that really only they got, I would say, the support Winter Wyvern. I think that was Nikwa and Demon who managed to get the Spirit Breaker without Trowl's help, so that felt like a very successful fight for London Conspiracy.
Yeah, also very unnecessary buyback. It probably felt like they could have gotten more out of it, and they're gonna go for Roshan now, which I think is pretty smart considering they used the buyback in the first place. But I think, again, as I mentioned before, Summer's Rifts really have to like reconsider their fighting and like, really, is it worth it for them to fight as much? They could just sacrifice the Wisp whenever they go for the smoke gangs like this, and I think they will be fine with that. Instead, they're giving up a lot of kills and unnecessary buybacks and what have you.
London Conspiracy, they may still be able to contest Roshan. It is quite slow. And it's going down Nikwa, trying to give them as much time as possible with the cogs, but it seems like not even that is going to be enough, as Madara is going to march right into the pit. Here pops BKB ahead of Demon, turns around, gets the split earth, and takes him out. Meanwhile, Roshan still left with about 1200 HP. Now Madara's right in the middle of the pit. Oh, disaster here for Summer's Rift. The stun comes out, but already the tiny Wisp down and out. They managed to get the glue back. Needs Assassin held in place. Oh no! Locked upside on the cliff as well. They get the Aegis for Madara. It really doesn't get much worse for that for Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Like, they're taking way too many fights for their lineup. If they wanted to fight as much, they should have drafted something else for sure.
It felt like they used the buyback there from Summer's Rift, and they were like, okay, we have to get more than just the pick off on the Wyvern for that. And so they naturally turned to Roshan, but that just turns a bad situation to an even worse one.
That's like the play that you see all the time when people use buybacks that can be unnecessary, and they just feel like, oh shit, we gotta capitalize on this, and they just overextend. It happens all the time in comp play, actually.
And that now means Madara gets very far ahead of our Tiny when it comes to net worth. A 5,000 gold lead over the Tiny. 17,000 net worth by 30 minutes in. Insanely farmed, and it's going to get even worse as they start taking down these towers.
Not to mention only him, but also the Queen of Pain and the Spirit Breaker is getting really farmed with that. And also, like, it might not seem like a lot, but their supports are actually getting some farm as well of this, which is really important. A Glimmer Cape or 4-staff extra or a Blink on Disruptor can be really crucial for these fights.
What do you get on the Wyvern if you're able to get some extra farm? Is Blink Dagger a decent item because that initiation from Winter's Curse is so powerful, or just Glimmer Cape because the utility is so essential?
From what I've seen, most Winter Wyverns seem to like the utility items like Blink or 4-staff as well as the Glimmer Cape. With those items are pretty much the go-to item for supports these days in this metagame. Yeah, the Blink Dagger, as you said, is really good for the Winter's Curse initiation.
Ooh, Demon, does he blink away in time? He does get out, but Spartan's gonna spot him out, and Glimpse, never mind, Yule Scepter instead. They'll get the kill. Demon caught out once again. 24 to 22 now, London Conspiracy. I mean, this has been a back and forth game. It seems like every single one of these fights, it's just won so heavily by one side or the other. And early on, I'm thinking, oh, Summoner's Rift got this game rather easily. London Conspiracy win 2 fights in a row, and all of a sudden, London Conspiracy are ahead. And now we're getting into this 31-minute mark. And London Conspiracy are looking at a very sizable lead, a 6,000 gold, 6,000 experience, and they're taking down multiple towers. They still have this Aegis to be able to utilize in the Leshrac, who seems like he's going to be unstoppable in these next few fights.
Yeah, he's also going to be pretty close to that Octarine Core, and we all know what happens when Leshrac gets 17 blood charges in Octarine Core.
Oh yeah, that guy, I mean, he has infinite mana and so much HP. Ooh, nice Glimmer Cape. It's going to be able to catch out Trump. Oh, this is really bad. Fortunately, they will be able to get the Wisp relocate out. Madara, meanwhile, actually TP'd back there and may just be caught. They should be able to kill the Wisp at the same time. Weaver comes back, tries to go for the TP out, but stop him with the Winter's Curse. Back over to Madara. He does stay ahead of our Summoner's Rift heroes who were trying to catch him out. So, free pick off there for London Conspiracy. They force out the relocate, get the Wisp. But that's the kind of plays that Summoner's Rift need to be forcing, right? Is the split push and use the relocate to save.
Yeah, they have to, but at this point it might already be too late because they've tried fighting so much now, so they're being like stuck ahead, like behind on the Tiny. So yeah, that's definitely the way they have to play the game, and but it's just gonna be harder now.
Madara trying to chase down Brax, has the movement speed, might just be able to catch him out here. The TP away, Yule Scepter. Ooh, we saw him at the last second there, but unable to get him. Meanwhile, the split push, Trouth heavily pushing down this top lane, does have a TP scroll. So now that he's forced Madara to come back, they've basically bought himself perhaps another 45 seconds of time. And then Aegis is going to be taken out soon, so. BKB picked up our Queen of Pain. She's looking quite tanky now with the Aghanim Scepter and the Magic Immunity available.
Yeah, realistically, there's no way they're killing the Queen of Pain without getting team wiped at this point, unless she's very, very alone as home plates in the map. And as we see, the Tiny going back with the BKB after the Yasha. Probably regretting the choice of the Yasha at all now.
Yeah. We also have the Silver's Edge, soon to be picked up by Scarlet. Already had the Sage, now it's the Shadow Blade, so he can make those invisible charges in. And with the Silver's Edge, he can take away the armor there of the Tiny, the craggy exterior. Not as big a factor as it normally would be, as there's just all magic damage coming out from London Conspiracy. Not too many times you're going to be right-clicking this Tiny, but it's just a little extra something.
Yeah, it's still a good item nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a natural build-up for heroes like Dragon Knight and Spirit Breaker that you're usually going to go Silver's Edge, even if it isn't a really good game to remove passives.
Yeah, I agree. Charge on top lane now on Demon.
And Demon, is he going to respond in time? Oh, doesn't get off the Hex. Now Skylark is going to be able to get the turnaround. Sure enough, the Silver's Edge coming into play there for the first pick off on that support. Demon no longer going to be able to go for those heavy split pushes all by himself.
I assume he thought he was like okay there with having the relocate backing up and saw a lot of LC's team running around, but he didn't expect the Silver Edge, of course, so that made the difference right there. Yeah,
and Demon down now for 40 seconds. Remember, that's not just a support pick-off, that is a support with a sizable amount of farm on the side of Summoner's Rift. He's ahead of the Nyx Assassin, was ahead of the Clockwork until not too long ago. The Trout actually managed to get the double jump in. Oh, the hook shot as well. Good setup. Nikwa might be able to get an excellent set of cogs that pushes back two. He gets hit by the Split Earth. Looks like he's going to be run down by Leshrac. Another good force stab to the side. Sonic Wave catching out two. Brax surviving a bit longer thanks to that one toss up. Spartan does manage to get out. Good relocate save there from Whitebeard at the same time. London Conspiracy, just thanks to the farm advantage that they have, are barely managed to get away from this one. Oh, the first hit bash. Are you kidding me?
He's had so many of those at this point.
Yeah, Skylark getting quite lucky in that regard. Whitebeard, who did the relocate play out to save his Tiny, and now he's to get away. He's still tethered up to the Trout, but unfortunately, the ultimate's still there, and the Spirit Breaker controls the Tiny just enough to allow Madara to get off his damage. The ultimate goes into play. Octarine Core kicking in to gear here as Trout's going to be run down by Madara. Yule Scepter, another Split Earth going to be able to land. Trout, no way out of this one. On the right-hand side, they do have the TP out of Demon, just barely able to get away, but a godlike spree from Madara means they'll be able to push into this tier 3 tower, no problems.
He's just too far ahead at this point. Like, you see the Tiny hitting him, the mana burn onto him, and it just doesn't care. The Octave Course is so strong when you have 21 Balsam charges, and even if they manage to kill him once, it's just going to respawn and have the travels then, so it's just really hard for Summer's Rift.
Oh, Nikwa actually missing out on the hook shot. Was hoping he was able to grab the Queen of Pain and quickly kill him. Does manage to get the cogs to push back our Leshrac, but Nikwa is now going to be caught out by 3 different heroes. Looks like he's going to be slowly but surely right-click down while Madara deals the Demon, catches him out with a Split Earth, trying to run him down while he's still a sheep, and might just be successful thanks to Glimpse, but never mind, he runs out of mana. Brax comes in with that mana burn. Madara still 22 Bloodstone charges. He'll have some more mana. Spartan a little bit too far forward, but the Cold Embrace stays in for just a while longer. Brax still trying to get the control, but Madara upon some BKB turns onto the sports. Split Earth lands. Demon dropping low. He's actually wanted to take out Whitebeard first. He's got the right clicks, but will be controlled by the Impale. Meanwhile, Demon trying to suck away the rest of the mana away from Madara, but it's 22 Bloodstone charges. You can't take all of that mana. Demon ends up going down to the right clicks. Whitebeard gets away, but it's going to be the melee racks going down as well as the range racks. Charge coming in. Whitebeard, he's got to get out and got to get out fast as the Spirit Breaker is on his way with that Silver's Edge, but never mind, they cancel it out. Not wanting to be too greedy as Trout comes back into play. Oh, never mind, maybe they do want to be a little bit greedy. They can go back in potentially, but no. They took a melee Rex, they took several really good team fights. No reason to push your luck just yet. Instead, try and get a pick off on Brax perhaps, as Skylark does manage to get the right click. Ultimate goes off. Sure, the Spike Carapace gets laid down. Yule Scepter to be able to dodge the Split Earth and blink away. Nicely played by Brax.
So looking really good for LC now. The Roshan is going to be respawning, if I'm reading the clock here correct.
Yep, it'll be up here in just another 30 seconds. And at this point, with Madara almost being like a 6-slotted Leshrac, he's going to be able to get his Shivas coming up in a second here. He can get the advanced boots of travel, but after that, like, you're pretty much 6-slotted as a Leshrac.
Yeah, I guess you can go for Moon Shard, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on Leshrac, I guess.
What?
The Moon Shard?
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually so puzzled here by Whitebeard. He relocated onto the cliff.
Oh. Did he try to D-ward or something? No?
Yeah, he doesn't have any counter vision, so I have no idea what he was doing with that plane, but some sort of misclick.
The tilt coming into play? Perhaps.
Yeah, I guess so. You got, well, they actually just spotted out Roshan with the rocket, but it doesn't mean much if you know Roshan is up. If you have a pickoff beforehand that doesn't allow you to be able to contest Roshan, there goes Demon. And now Summer's Rift want to be able to contest Roshan. They'll have to do it 4 versus 5. Look at Trout, though, coming in from the left-hand side. He wants to be able to make a jump, and it could be a big one. Looking for the stun. Managed to get the toss. Avalanche follow-up, but he's BK beat up. Still hit by the charge. They do have the Disruptor, who managed to get off a really good ultimate, controlling most of these supports. Whitebeard already down and out. Trout just not getting the damage, the targeted damage to finish off anybody. He gets the Winter Wyvern, but that's not enough, as Madara's looking quite healthy with that Octarine core keeping him alive. 2 cores go down. The buyback from Demon, but it's already 2 versus 4 now as London Conspiracy look to push uphill.
Yeah, it's just too hard, way too hard for Summer's Rift to fight at this point.
Madara, they managed to take him out with a quick amount of burst damage there. Taking him beyond godlike speed, but Madara, not one to be stopped too soon, had so many Bloodstone charges that he instantly came back to piece in and finish up his tier 3 tower.
That's actually 1,500 gold for Lion, but I don't think it's gonna matter.
Pretty insane. Glimpse back. Brax now put in a bad position. Madara may go down a secondary time here. Pops a BEB. Glimmer Cape also on him. Misses the split earth there. It's another blink away. They do manage to catch Nikwa. Skylark comes forward. They almost pop him, but he's got the blade down. Plus the Wisp being able to heal him up. The relocate back is going to go in a second. But they've already taken what they wanted. Range Rax goes down as well as the melee, and Range Rax at bottom lane. Skylark gets out clean. Madara doesn't go down a secondary time. And London Conspiracy, very happy with the way this game is going. They are just 1 lane away from being able to claim victory up against Summoner's Rift.
Yep. We're just going to go back for the Roshan now and look for taking the last set of racks in the top lane.
Yeah, I forgot that they haven't even taken Roshan. Still available to them. Yeah. They do have, Summoner's Rift are really trying to jump the gun. They want to be able to contest Roshan so badly.
Yeah, I think they have to. There's no other way they can win it. I think they really have to surpass them at this point.
At this point in time, Madara, oh dear, this is so bad. Brax, he knows there's nobody around. He actually sees something happen. Madara is still invised up, though.
They should have seen it there. They have the gem on the Winter Wyvern.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure if they did.
Maybe they missed him. Meanwhile, Trout is actually trying to do Roshan, but they're going to move forward. Madara's going to be able to catch Demon. Immediately takes him out and looking to be able to turn on Nikwa as well. It's charged up, pushed back, and looks like they'll just right-click him down. Hookshot draws a little bit of time. Meanwhile, back over. Trout and Wiz. Oh, the relocate already being used there to be able to get out of the Static Storm, but it's Trout left alone. As the rest of his team does go down, looks like Brax going to be run away by Madara. Yep, tick damage is enough to take him out. Meanwhile, Tiny just getting kited around by the supports as much as possible. 5-man wipe, but Summer's Rift giving up Roshan, giving up the game there out of MLG. As they drop this game against London Conspiracy to keep themselves alive off the back of Madara's very, very dominant Leshrac.
Very well played by LC, I gotta say. Once the team fights start kicking in, there was just no stopping them.
Yeah, that felt like a game that really hit the 20-minute marker, really could have gone the way of the Summoner's Rift. They had a good start out and were winning a lot of fights, but as you said, looking for fights maybe too much with their kind of lineup and should have been playing the split push game. Ended up going down to London Conspiracy's superior team fight as the Leshrac just gained such a huge lead.
Yeah, I agree. Like, they tried to take too many fights in this game, and